Hi and welcome to my channel. So today we will be talking about different tourism types and this is the second part of the topic. If you haven't checked my last video, do have a look to understand the other tourism types also. I'll leave the link in the description below. So let's get started with the class. So the first type of tourism that we will be talking about today is cultural tourism. So, WTO, the World Tourism Organization, defines cultural tourism as movements of people essentially for cultural motivations, like if they are traveling for study purposes or traveling to some festivals and other events or to visit any sites and monuments or for any arts and to any pilgrimages. So if we consider from India's perspective, the major cultural circuits that we get would be Rajasthan, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand. We can talk about these as the major cultural circuits that we get. But apart from that, other states also has some or the other cultural connection to it. So there are few organizations associated with the cultural activities and thus in turn they promote the cultural tourism in the country. So these are Anthropological Survey of India, the Archaeological Survey of India, the National Archives of India, National Museum, the National Museum is Institute of History, Art, Conservation and Museology, and the South Central Zone Cultural Center, that is SCZCC. So, if we talk about different tourism boards about their policies on cultural tourism, we can take one example of Meghalaya. So Meghalaya resonates with fairs and festivals, and it is almost celebrated all throughout the year. So there are like three tribes who celebrates major four festivals. One of them is the Wangla dance. So music is also an integral part. So Meghalaya comprises of all these festivals where it can be promoted as a major tourist attraction. So according to the Meghalaya Tourism Board, they say that there is a need to make them more attractive, targeting tourists on well-defined themes and spread over all seasons. So whatever festivities they are having all throughout the year, they can utilize them and they can promote them as a particular tourist attraction. So the times and dates obviously will be fixed and they will be done in a very professional manner so that it can actually be a very good destination plan. Next, talking about the Tamil Nadu tourism policy, they say that Tamil Nadu's culture and the fairs and festivals are very vibrant, and it also happens all throughout the year. So they get foreigners and foreigners coming in for those particular festivities from UK, Europe, USA, Malaysia, Singapore, and Mauritius. And also the foreign tourist arrival is generally high during the festival season, obviously during the music festivals or the dance festivals and the Chitrai festival, etc. Next, next tourism type, what we will be talking about is historical tourism. Now, it is one of the tourism types which existed like since a very long time. And if we notice, we will find that every destination is somehow connected to its history, to its past. So history forms a very integral part of tourism sector, and especially in the context of Indian tourism, history has significant role to play. Like if we talk about the colonial history, the colonial era, which led to various monuments and structures of touristic importance, and similarly there were invaders like the Mughals were there, the Sultans were there, the Rajputs were there. So they somehow left us with various structures which are now major attraction centers too. Now, if I take example of Delhi, we can talk about Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is a colonial era structure constructed between 1912 to 1929, within that time period. And then again from Delhi, if we talk, Qutub Minar is one example from the Sultan time, made by Qutubuddin Aibak. And then from Agra, we get the example of Taj Mahal, which is a Mughal era structure constructed by Shah Jahan. Likewise, from Jaipur, if we take example, Jantar Mantar from the Rajput time, which was built by Raja Jai Singh. And in Aurangabad, Ajanta and Ellora caves from the Sadwahan period. So there are few circuits which are developed in different sectors and different parts of India, one of which is Rajasthan. So one of Rajasthan's tourist circuit is the Mewar circuit, which consists of Udaipur, Chittorgarh, and Nathdwara. So this circuit is a combination of religion and history. So this place particularly is located, this region falls in the Aravalli ranges, and it has lakes, beautiful hills, and deep valleys. So the climate in this area is also very pleasant, which makes tourists to visit this area. And along with that, it has a very interesting history to it, and many structures which one can visit when they are going to this circuit. Now all these places that we have talked about, like Delhi, Calcutta, Gwalior, Mumbai, any city if we talk about in India, there is some historical background, and India is always known for architectural masterpieces, its paintings, art, and crafts. So, this form of tourism, if we talk about, then it has a very good future prospect as well, because this will continue, and all these history we will carry with us and will keep promoting in the form of historical tourism. Next, almost similar to it, is heritage tourism. Now, heritage sites which are designated by UNESCO are of two categories. They can be natural or they can be cultural in form. And there is another category also, mixed category. So, and this cultural heritage sites, there are like almost 30 sites in India, 7 natural sites and 1 mixed site as recognized by UNESCO. Now, few of them are the Agra Fort Complex, Qutub Minar Complex, Taj Mahal, the Bhimbetka Rock Shelters, the Mahabodhi Temple Complex of Bodh Gaya, all the mountain railways that we are having in India, the like Darjeeling, Nilgiris, and Shimla. So these are few of the cultural heritage sites that we can see and study about. And a few of the natural heritage sites are like Nanda Devi and the Valley of Flowers National Park, the Sundarbans National Park, etc. Now, further, if we study, Nat Geo has given a list of few lesser known heritage sites of India, which they have given a list which consists of Kanchenjunga, the Agra Fort, the convents and churches of Goa, Western Ghats, Rani Ki Vav, Bhimbetka, and the Chandigarh Capital Complex. So these are the places which Nat Geo has listed as a lesser known but heritage tourism sites of India. Now, if we see that how the state tourism boards are taking initiative to promote heritage tourism, we can consider one tourism board is Tamil Nadu Tourism Board. So they have declared 48 tourist places as heritage places, and the tourists, particularly the foreigners, they have a special liking for its art and culture and architecture, and to know about the traditional crafts, the cuisine, which makes a part of heritage tourism. Traditional food, particularly the Chettinad and the Madurai, all those regions, they have a very like attractive factor, and they can enhance the tourist arrivals using that factor. Now, the Tamil Nadu Tourism Department is conducting different Indian dance festivals, food festivals, and cultural festivals, which can also be added to the promotional events of heritage tourism. Also, Meghalaya Tourism Board has a say about the heritage tourism. Now, it is one of the, according to them, it is one of the oldest form of tourism. And particularly in Shillong, there are particular number of important buildings, monuments, and churches which can be well connected with heritage tourism itself. And the department has taken few steps to promote also these destinations as heritage tourism. Now, the next type of tourism that we will learn about is dark tourism. Now, this form of tourism or this type of tourism has been existent since a long time, but most of them are not aware of the name. But the form of tourism has always been there. Now, if we talk about the definition or the meaning, then it refers to visitations to places of death, disaster, and atrocities, which was given by Foley and Lennon in 1996. Now, this gives us an idea that dark tourism will be related to a place of war zone or genocide or prisons, nuclear blast sites, or tombs. Now, it is also known in different places in different countries as black tourism, also morbid tourism, or grief tourism. So the meaning of dark tourism, or the term dark tourism, might not be too soothing to the ears, but we have been associated with it without even thinking that it exists and without giving it a thought. And the destinations which are now termed as dark tourist sites were promoted earlier in a very different way. We never had a thought about it. Like if we talk about Jallianwala Bagh site, so we consider it as a site of national movement. If we talk about Taj Mahal, we think of it as a symbol of love. But on the contrary, Jallianwala Bagh was a place where thousands of unarmed men, women, and children were killed, and thus it is making this place associated with death. And Taj Mahal also is the tomb of Mumtaz. So he like it was a part of death also. So somehow we have been visiting all these places throughout the time, but we have never thought of this term as such. And India TV News gave a list of places associated with dark tourism, and those are cited as Jallianwala Bagh, Amritsar, Kala Pani of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Roopkund, Uttarakhand, Taj Mahal, Agra, Kuldhara Village, Rajasthan, and the Union Carbide subsidiary plant in Bhopal. So if we talk about the world, so from September 11 Memorial and the Roman Colosseum to Randa's Murambi Technical School, so there are no shortages of tourist sites of death and disaster, as the UK-based Institute of Dark Tourism Research has put it. So we have many places which are visited, and this will be like of interest to people who are interested in history and want to explore the deep and the dark untold stories. Next tourism type is slum tourism, which is also known as poverty tourism or ghetto tourism. So the Oxford Dictionary, in Oxford Dictionary, the term slumming came in 1884. So there are records of middle and upper class Londoners who were heading towards the East End to look at the poor in the 19th century, and at that time only the new term came into being. And meanwhile, there were other curious visitors venturing in the lower east side of Manhattan. So, and there were other tourists who were going to see the anti-apartheid movement, which has taken place in South Africa. So the slum tourism has developed a formalized commercial offering to it. So there are many names given to slum tourism. It can be called a barrio, a shanty town, or a ghetto, or favela, but the concept of it remains the same. So a tour of one of the world's biggest slums has been like voted by the tourist as the most popular tourism attraction in India. It has got more popularity than even Taj Mahal, and TripAdvisor's Traveler Choice Awards has stated that in 2019 it has the Dharavi slum in Mumbai just became the favorite tourist experience in the year. So there is one organization working towards slum tourism, and the name is Reality Tours and Travels. So they are working in close association with Dharavi, and they have the slum tours on a daily basis, and there are whatever earnings come, 80% of the profits go back to the community through their NGOs, and they are working and having small itineraries plan in small packages to show the people about their lifestyle, about how small businesses are growing up. And the movie Slumdog Millionaire has popularized the concept. It was there in existence, but people came to know more about slum tourism. And we all know that these kind of tourisms, specifically if we talk about dark tourism and slum tourism, they are facing some kind of controversies, and there has been some controversies associated with it, but along with time it is gaining more and more importance. So today we end the class with few new tourism types. So the names are new to many, if not the concept, but these aren't like usually that commonly used. So hope the second tourism session was interesting and useful, and also I'm working on the course materials which will be shortly available on my website. So stay tuned and drop in comments for suggestions or queries. Thanks a lot for watching. Do like, share and subscribe for more informative videos on tourism.